Alright, I've had this package of sauerkraut in the fridge for a couple of weeks now, and I'm really craving a Reuben. But I don't have corned beef, so we're gonna make something out of some ground turkey that's going to take the place of corned beef on a Reuben. And I've never done this before, so it's going to be an adventure we're going to do together. So what we need to do is figure out what we're going to put in this to make it taste like corned beef. So I'm going to do some guessing. I'm going to get my bullet blender cup, the small one. I'm going to put a few coriander seeds. A couple of allspice berries. These are all dried. Some ground ginger. Some pepper. This is a rainbow pepper. Let's see. What do we got here? Oriental 5-spice, cinnamon, anise, dextrose, ginger, nutmeg, cloves. A little bit of that. Oriental 5-spice. Fennel seed. Yeah, a little bit of that. Dill weed. Yeah, good amount of that. Bay leaves. 3 small ones. Caraway seed. This is the flavoring that gives rye bread its distinctive rye bread taste. I think that's gonna be the main one. I'm gonna put a few crushed red pepper flakes. Alright. Let's see what we got. Coarse strainer. I guess we'll call that a strainer. And then a non-stick pot because I'm trying not to use fat. I would normally use a skillet. Alright, so we're going to put this ground turkey in here. It's about 3 ounces. I'm just eyeballing it. I bet it's about 3 ounces. And then I'm going to shake that. I think I made way more than I need, so we're just going to do part of it and then set that aside. Like so. It really does have a nice aroma. And then we're going to add some garlic. Some salt. Quite a bit of salt because corned beef is salty. And then we're going to need some vinegar. Let's see. What are the options? Rice wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, Alright, so I'm just going to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I honestly think the rice wine vinegar would taste better, but have less of it, and I use it for salads and stuff. All right, put all these spices back. Now the ones I use the least go in the front, but that's a problem for later. Alright, and while that is preparing, I do not have any Swiss cheese. I only have Mexican blend cheese. Definitely not the right cheese for this, but using what I have. I have this really nice, Sara Lee delightful, that's what it is, yeah, delightful Sara Lee 45 calorie bread. There's 45 calories per slice, so 90 for 2 slices, which is nice. Makes it kind of a low calorie sandwich. So you add all the dressing and cheese. And then I just need some Thousand Island salad dressing, which I have. And on my Reubens, I like a little bit of Thousand Island and also a little bit of a hearty mustard. So I have some spicy brown mustard. And I'm just going to put my bread in the oven to defrost. If it gets toasted a little too, that's also fine. And I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea to go with this. It is 2:30 p.m. and I've not eaten yet today. That's on me. Stayed up real late last night. I'm changing my medications. I've been on a pretty high dose of benzos for over a decade of my life because of sleep problems, and I am weaning off of those. I've lowered the dose by half, but they are a medication that you become dependent on, so obviously coming down off those, I'm not sleeping as much, but one of the key things for cognitive behavioral therapy when you have a sleep disorder anyway is to limit your time in bed to like 6 hours and then get up regardless of how much sleep you got. So I'm kind of working on that. So I'm getting less sleep. So I didn't go to bed until 2 o'clock in the morning last night because I didn't want to be awake early in the morning, because that's just a miserable time of day to sit around doing nothing when it's freezing cold and bright. And just I hate mornings, so I'm gonna only sleep 6 hours. I'm gonna stay up a little later and get up a little later. Smells alright. So I could have made this into a patty, you know, which probably would have been better for this, but I'm just gonna make it brown, and some of it's gonna fall out of the sandwich. That'll be alright. Hey baby girl, you give me the mouse? The monkey's giving me the mouse. Alright, then I have my sandwich pan here. Yeah. Yeah. Tea water. Some Crisco. Obviously, a grilled sandwich is better with grilled in butter, but I don't buy butter anymore. So I would have used some olive oil, but now without SNAP benefits being a guaranteed thing for November, I'm kind of trying to hold on to my olive oil that I have because I don't have a big bottle and I want it to last. So, yeah. I'm going to grill my sandwich with Crisco, which is kind of appalling, but it is what it is, I guess. So I'll try to keep it minimal, just enough to brown it. Give it a little crisp on the outside. Probably burning my bread. Yep. I'll go on the inside. It's fine to burn the bread a little bit on the inside. It'll just hold up to the sandwich better. Turn that off. That's off. Taste our meat and see if it's even remotely edible. Totally. That totally works as a replacement for corned beef. Alright, so I'm just going to shake the rest of my spice mix here because that did work to get all the shells out. The coarse shells out, and then I'll just put a storage lid on that. And then I'm just going to use my strainer to drain my meat. And then I'm going to put my pan for grilling on my stove and turn it down. And then we're going to drain the meat. It's just draining in the sink. And then, can I touch that? Alright, here's my bread that I toasted on the inside by accident. I really shouldn't defrost it. That'd be fine. And I'm going to smear my oil, which is just vegetable shortening around the pan a little bit. That's way more oil than I need. I'm going to put my non-toasted side down in the pan. I'm going to put some Thousand Island salad dressing on that. I do often count calories, but I'm not feeling it today, so I'm not counting calories today. And then I'm going to squish out the liquid from my meat with a spatula. Alright, here's what my corned beef replacement meat using ground turkey looks like. It's pretty nice. I'm just going to put that in my sandwich, kind of sloppy Joe style. Way more meat than I needed, but I'll just throw it on a plate and eat it with pork. And then I'm going to put some sauerkraut. Now here's the key for sauerkraut. A serving is a handful for a sandwich, so just put your hand in the bag, and then while it's in the bag, squeeze it, and then take this over to the sink and squeeze all the liquid out over the sink. So that's dripping. Make it dry. Alright, so there's one mostly dry handful of squeezed sauerkraut. Alright, now rinse my hands. And then some cheese. It should be Swiss, but it's not. Alright, and then our other piece of bread with the toasted side in. And we'll turn that down to medium-low heat because it's a thick sandwich that's going to take a while. I don't want to burn the bread. Put our sauerkraut. I forgot to put the mustard on that side. I'm just going to take it off and put some mustard here. The mustard's almost empty. Alright, the mustard basically is empty. refrigerated stuff away. Pick our 10-inch up. Slide all the extras off. I got them off there. Put some more Crisco in the pan to brown this side. Eat what fell on the stove. I'm a sloppy cook. That really does taste very good. Spices. Corned beef spices. Let me heat up just a little. Plate. Smells done. Could use a little bit more on the edge, but that's because all this is in the way. There we go. There's our corned, air quotes, corned ground turkey Reuben. What you've got.